Hello and welcome back to the Consistency Club podcast. This one's going to be a little bit more bite-sized. And me and Matt were just chatting. Maybe this is going to be a running theme that we'll go back to. But today's episode is going to be a case study episode. Basically, the theme is we're going to discuss a case study of someone in a certain position, certain phase in their life, looking to improve a certain metric when it comes to their health, and give the advice on how to get there as quick as possible and what we would do with that individual. So just spitballing here because we've actually not designed this or planned this, which is a nice way to do it. Where should we start? I was thinking in my head, trying to go as generic as possible.
Yeah.
I would say
I'm saying middle-aged man.
Middle-aged man.
I'm not saying middle-aged 35, but I'm thinking
35 to 40.
Most likely 40, isn't it?
Yeah.
40. I think that's what we said before. 40 is when problems come home to roost and people recognise I am no longer 20. I need to fix
2 to 3 kids.
Yeah. Stressful job. Life's hectic.
Yeah.
What do I do?
And in a position where, let's say they want to lose, they've got probably 10 kg, 10 kilos to lose in total. They don't do much. Maybe they play five-a-side once a week.
Yeah.
Sounds
work-wise, most blokes in the UK.
Yes. Yeah. We are starting extremely generic here, but this does cover a large echelon of people. Then in terms of their day-to-day, commute into the city a couple of days a week.
Yeah.
And maybe international travel once a month. So let's get into it. So I mean, first we'll break it down. What we would do to review is go through all those factors, right? So we'd assess current state. What we can't do in this case study, so we're going to have to come up with it, is discuss the end state. Yeah. So where you are now is fine. We will build the interim plan to get you, but what is that dream end state? Dream end state right now, I would say they want to get 10 kg off.
Yeah.
They want to improve their routine and their relationship with food and alcohol.
Yeah.
They're the 3 things they want to do, but they're only experienced at the moment. They don't go to the gym. They have a gym membership, don't go to the gym. They just play five-a-side once a week for 45 minutes. That's the case study.
Right.
Hopefully you're listening.
Yeah. First things first, calculate what available time is there? How much time do we have? What does that look like? Does that mean that, is it linear Monday to Friday? So there's always, I start work at this time, I finish at this time. Happy days. Most people, it's not going to be that. So it's going to be.
When you go into the city, do you have a gym you have access to at lunchtime or after shift, or
what does it look like?
Yeah.
So that quite quickly, that is a have to do, isn't it? We have to do that. We have to. There can't be any assumptions. We have to physically sit down, work out an average week, or as best part of it, ballpark figures. Off the back of available time, we can then create your sessions. So for me, I'd say the days they're going into the city or days where they're going away internationally, I'd put them as workout days that are either, and this is preference, either a cardio day, so like a low and slow, like a run, maybe it's a circuit of some description, just something that's not, it's not going to be massively time intensive. It's not going to be an hour. It could be 20, it could be 30 minutes, but it's enough of something to get some stimulation, and it's something that can theory done anywhere. So if we program in like a sort of zone 2 run, if they work in the city, it's all right, 20 minutes. I want to just run for 20 minutes.
Yeah, not to a distance, to a time and a specific heart rate.
And then get yourself back. That quite there is something that's quite manageable, fairly easy. You can do it anywhere.
That's actually, just to pause on that for a second, that's a good point to make. For people who feel overwhelmed with running, set a time, but don't run to a distance. No, just set the time and run for that time. You'll naturally set your benchmarks. You'll settle into your own kind of cadence and rhythm. That's a good little tip. Sorry, I jumped across you, but just wanted to highlight that.
No, definitely. And so think something like that on the days where it's going to be a bit more disrupted. The days where we've got a little bit more, I use the word stability, I would say that's use distance training stuff. Mm-hmm. And me personally, the day where I've got the most stability, so that's a Wednesday. A Wednesday every week, you work half a day, or you don't start till late. That'll be my legs day.
Yeah.
That'll be the day of which I focus on the largest muscle groups, try and do the heaviest amount of lifting, because personally for me, I like a nice warm up, lots of concentration on that, because the movements that I pick for legs are probably the most demanding in terms of multifaceted.
just what I'll do within this is play devil's advocate,
Go on.
just in case someone not necessarily devil's advocate, but I'll pose questions because
Yeah,
they
go
might
for
be
it.
thinking them. Why? Obviously, I know the answer to this, but why resistance training?
So we know there's so many studies out there. It is beyond reasonable doubt that resistance training prolongs your life. So if you go to look at a point of view in terms of just a base level of training, I'm talking once a week, lifting some weights up, some bicep curls, maybe some bodyweight squats. We know that that increases or helps to sustain muscle mass. Muscle mass is critical for everything that we do. So we've mentioned it before about the muscle mass being the armor of your body. The better your armor is, the more you can resist in terms of life impacting you. So we know the stronger you are, the less likely you are to fall, particularly in elderly people. We know that resistance training not only increases the amount of muscle mass, it also strengthens ligaments and tendons, which is obviously really, really important for aging
Yeah.
people and coming back from any kind of injury. And we also know that resistance training increases bone density, which is particularly important again in aging populations and in women, because we know that as women age, typically they lose more calcium than men do. And it's things like breastfeeding, for example. I didn't realize this. If a woman doesn't have 500 milligrams of calcium a day whilst breastfeeding, they basically can develop osteoporosis, which I didn't realize that because obviously, and which makes sense. You're physically depleting yourself of calcium
Yeah.
to produce milk. But the point I'm trying to make is that the knock-on effect, not only does it prepare yourselves for life and strengthen your vitality, resistance training is also one of the best ways to burn calories because, as we all know, when you're breaking down, or we may not know, that's a bit of a statement to make there, when you break down tissue in terms of actual muscle fibers, that damage has to trigger a response from the body to basically repair that. That takes energy, which is calories. As we tear down that muscle, the body wants to basically prevent that from ever happening again. So in order to do so, it builds more tissue around that muscle to basically say, right, okay, I had 3 muscles there before, it ripped, so I'm going to put 2 more on top of it. Now there's 5 muscle fibers there, so it won't rip again. You then your periodization, your progressive overload. You've now ripped the 5 muscles. The body goes, Christ, right, I need to put some more tissue down. So it lays 7. And every time it's doing that, it is basically expending energy to build it. But not only that, in order to maintain the amount of muscles there, it needs a set level of energies, which is why the more muscle mass you have, your basal metabolic rate, which is the metabolic rate you basically the amount of energy you burn
At
just
rest.
being at rest, lay flat in a bed, will increase. So it's the most effective way of burning fat. It's also the most effective way of keeping a sustainability in terms of your longevity in your life, protecting joints, protecting pretty much
Hormone
everything.
levels,
Hormone levels as well, because again,
testosterone.
testosterone levels, yeah, you have to, protein synthesis is increased, and there's a direct correlation between that and testosterone. Because again, your body, we've said it quite a few times in this podcast, it is a machine. It wants to survive. And the way in which it does that is it has to have stimulus. If we
Yeah.
apply no stimulus, no change occurs. But when you start resistance training, your body has to increase muscle tissue, and therefore it has to increase its hormone production, which not only makes muscle mass better, but particularly in men and in females, we need a level of testosterone. We need a certain balance of hormones, and we know resistance training only helps to promote the correct balance that makes us feel good, makes
Yeah.
us operate well. So that's
So that is
why.
why.
Yeah, in the short term, it's very good for you. So yeah, I'd pick something like resistance training for them days in which we've got more time.
Yeah.
Or not even more time, but particularly legs. Something like legs, chest and back. Like realistically, we can go to. I guarantee right now we could have been up all night. And go, you know what, we'll go and train chest, and we'll probably be all right.
Yeah,
Whereas
we'll
if I
figure it
said
out.
to you, "Do you want to go and train legs?" You'd be like, "You know what? Look at my haircut's getting cut soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's true. I think most people are like that because it does take more out of you.
Yeah.
Um,
Legs, you have to be I mean, this is a good point. So I don't feel 100% right now. I got legs today, and I will go and do it. But you have to weigh up
yeah,
the
yeah,
intensity, and you have to really be in tune with how you feel. But that's a whole nother conversation. So again, just be the person on the opposite side of the lens. So on average, then, if you take the individual we're talking about, let's give him a name. Let's call him
Frank.
Frank's fine. Or he will be fine after this program. How many days should he train? Both resistance training, doing his 5-a-side, and by running in
I
around his schedule.
I would say initially, if all Frank does is do five-a-side on a Monday night, I'd probably say we keep that because there's definitely a social aspect to that that's obviously very important.
Heart rate zone spiking as well.
Exactly that. So, and it's almost probably for him passive cardio. He's not really. He's playing a sport. He's distracted, and there's a massive load of benefit to that, and social impact, everything else, great. So I'd say that has to stay. That's priority one. I'd probably say initially, I'd probably add in 2 sessions if I was being very cautious, just because we both know the moment someone has any resistance training, the level of DOMs they get can cause people to default
that was going to be
pretty quick.
That was going to be my point. Probably the five-a-side, you'd run a rest after the five-a-side. So you'd rest Tuesday.
Wednesday we do something.
You'd probably increase step count. Wednesday, upper.
Yeah.
I'm a big routine guy, so I believe that getting something done every day is good for the habit system.
Yeah,
but
I
probably
agree.
Wednesday upper, Friday lower, or Wednesday upper, Thursday lower.
Yeah.
And then something on the weekend, like a steady state.
Yeah, steady state run probably.
Yeah.
And
so four true sessions and then managing step count around that.
Yeah, and I think we got to be smart with the volume and intensity. Part of my brain was talking about. I thought actually, would I go full body? Would I go two? Would I go? I probably would. And hear me out. This is why I do it. Right. Monday I do football training. Tuesday probably rest, active recovery, go for a walk, get 10,000 steps, whatever it may be. Wednesday, I'd probably do a full body of some description, a bit high frequency-ish. Tuesday, active recovery. Friday, another full body. And the reason why I do that is that we could probably optimize protein synthesis more so in this individual than we could do in an uppers and a lowers.
Yeah.
And if we do it uppers and lowers, the tendency for someone to do more volume than they need to might be there. Whereas with high frequency, saying that, as long as you get the intensity right, would be okay. But I think if they've never trained before, the more stimulus we get to them of like doing a hinge pattern or a lunge pattern than a pressing pattern, it's probably better
for the skill as well.
Yeah, for motor patterning, and that's probably, I'd probably say that actually. And then as they get more trained, I'd then go for like a push-pull legs, or I'd start to break things down more because now I can Frank's got the motor pattern, he's used to training now, I can now start to increase that load and have it, he already understands how to move to a fairly way, he already kind of understands what DOMS feels like, and it's probably a little bit more of a steady.
Yep. Okay, so we got 2 full bodies, we got the five-a-side kept in. On the weekend, we've got a steady state run. We should be manageable around the volume across the 2 sessions. So 2 resistance sessions, 1 steady state run, and keeping his five-a-side is the answer to that question.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. That gives people a good understanding. Because a lot of people even come and they're like, I don't have gym membership, don't need gym membership. The answer is no.
No.
But again, for this case study, we're talking about what would we do to particularly at the start and to optimize the process. So that's nutrition boxed off. We've justified why we're doing that nutrition, which is fine. Let's discuss the nutrition, because this would be one of the biggest,
the hardest part.
And the hardest part to optimize. He's living in an ecosystem probably where it's meal deals or it's business lunches in the city. It's home cooked meals cooked in the evening that he has with his wife and his kids that are difficult to track. He skips breakfast, just have a latte from Costa. So like within that routine,
normalizing. I think even little things like, say example, they are a busy person, right? And their breakfast looks like nothing at all, right? And we want them to train in the morning, or they're feeling lackluster. Even if they drink a protein shake, right? Or
mate, that's a great, sorry to jump across you, that's answer that question. What time of day is he training?
Yeah. Well, I was literally about to,
because that dictates, before we go into the nutrition,
when you're going to eat.
Structure. I personally, for a person in his situation, would always say the morning.
Yeah, just get out of the way, box it off.
Not saying his best performance would be then,
but he's done it.
But it's done, and then you don't let your calendar and your life rule you. You dictate your output. So before your day started, you've
already got a win.
Yeah, you've already done it. Won, and it's all about stacking just daily small wins. Yeah. If you do even like little things, if you just do something, even if it's like drinking I'm going to start drinking a glass of water every time I get up.
Yeah,
seems like seemingly jovial, but as soon like not doing that is a loss. We're trying to stack up the wins. So let's say he's training in the morning, because that kind of, like you said, it
easy win. So I'd say if you're going to train in the morning, Personally, I used to train fast a little bit doing CrossFit. I wasn't the biggest fan.
Do you
Wasn't
not?
no, because it just felt
I can't train without being fasted in the morning.
really.
I can't.
It depends what I've ate, right?
Yeah.
So I couldn't sit down and have like fucking scrambled eggs on toast. I'd have to have. I'm talking like I'd probably have a protein bar or just something that is fairly hyper palatable.
Mm,
And if nothing else, it makes me feel like I've got something in me.
yeah.
But for some people,
I would 100 either way 100% say electrolytes. Tall glass of water,
yes, yeah,
second glass of water with electrolytes. Drink when you go. I personally, but again, it's depending on the person. Like Josh, who we know, he
yeah.
can't train without having something in the system, or just doesn't like it.
A caffeine, a bit of a buzz.
He'll have a shake. Like he can't. In his head, his mind goes, "Oh my god, no protein before training."
I get it, yeah.
Like, which is yeah. I mean, there's a little bit of science too. I just don't like having something in my system, and it doesn't impact my strength seemingly. So
then
we'll have to figure out what works
Yeah.
for him as an individual. But as a baseline, let's say electrolytes,
Yeah, water, probably some creatine,
bit of creatine,
yeah,
even half a banana or banana on the way. Let's
Yeah.
just go with that. But go and train.
just something. Go and train, get it done, and then after that, it's got to be your first thing after you train. We need to have something that's fast absorbing protein. So most time, 9 times out of 10, I'd recommend whey protein.
Yeah,
You could take some
1 to 1.5 scoops.
Yeah, at least 25 grams. And the way I say 25 grams is, you probably remember this. There used to be a thing saying, "Oh, if you have any more than 25 grams in a serving, it's useless."
Yeah,
That's not the case. So what the study did say is that protein synthesis peaks at 25 grams of protein. That means it peaks, as in like it reaches its optimal level. Anything after 25 grams is not a waste because your body doesn't function like that. It just means that having 100 grams or 25 grams, the level of synthesis does not change.
Yeah.
But obviously the level of energy in sustained release of amino acids, that's a completely different story. That study never looked at that. But straight away, like I said, a scoop and a half of whey protein, pretty much straight away. Whether that's with water, whether that was with milk, I'd say is dependent upon the available calories that you've got and preference. For me, I like Kinder Bueno, effective whey, mix it some water, tastes really great.
Yeah.
Knock that back. And then once you've got that in, I'd say that sort of whatever you eat next, ideally, I'd probably say some fats in there, and some protein, some eggs. I'd have eggs on sourdough toast, something like that.
I would say two. So two answers to that. So just going back, fundamentally, I totally agree with what you're saying. Not questioning it. What I would say, just thinking of being optimal with the shake, I would have like a pinnet or like some berries.
Yeah,
Like
you
just
blend it
something,
into it. Yeah.
afterwards. Yeah, even if you blend it up, have like a smoothie type thing, just shake a little bit of almond milk, some water, or cow's milk, some water, then some berries, something like
Yeah.
that. And then now I agree with you wholeheartedly, for that next meal, probably a piece of sourdough, half an avocado, bit of extra virgin olive oil. I'd probably go 3 eggs, 2 whites.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a little bit heavy, but
something
like that.
Yeah.
If you're really struck for time, then I would go like just pre-make overnight oats.
Yeah, I was just about to say oats.
Yeah.
Easy go to. If
Some
you're on the
almond
train,
butter.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Bit
could
milk.
even get away with a tiny bit of like dark chocolate chips if you want it to taste nice. A little bit of extra whey in there.
Mix it in. And if you're going to get a train, it's an easy win, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's put in a leak-proof box, get on the train, smash it in your head. Easy win. I think the key thing is that with anything nutrition-wise, there's lots of ways of doing it, but the key way is to have some form of preparation.
We'll have a plan, yeah.
That's what we always say. Have a plan, have an idea of what that looks like.
Yeah, never get to the moment and go,
what do I need?
Fuck, what am I having?
Because it's soul destroying, mate.
Yeah.
You try to pick something out, and that's where the convenience food, and we come back to your 5 ingredients or less, is that like them beef burgers. We come to the barbecue around ours, mate. I couldn't believe it when I heard someone talk about it. I'm gonna go see if this is the case. Frozen beef burgers, 3 ingredients.
Yeah,
beef, salt,
I
pepper.
don't know why, but that blew
I don't know why it
my
blew my mind,
Yeah, I
mate,
know.
massively. Then you look at like normal fresh ones. There's things that I can't pronounce.
Yeah,
And it's like, well, that's
scary,
probably
isn't it?
not good, then, is it?
Like bulking agents and
Literally,
stuff.
mate.
Yeah.
Like, there's lots of X's and Z's, which are never ever a good thing. So, key thing is have a plan, know what that looks like, and have something after you train that's fast acting protein, most likely a whey protein. Like you said, I like the idea actually, some berries, some fruit, something in there that gives you replenishes that glycogen store quite quick, because we know that the faster your replenish glycogen levels, the faster you get protein into your body comes back to homeostasis. We're all good to go. If you have nothing after you train and you've trained with some intensity, you're going to be in trouble. And
Yeah.
likewise, I'd also say is that you might have had some electrolytes in the morning. I'd also probably say, depending on, even if you've trained, if you've been sweating to a certain level, I would definitely say get some more electrolytes in you, because we know that as they drop off, the electrolytes they influence so many different balancing and homeostatic systems in the body. It can only help you feel better,
Yeah.
help you feel more recovered, and for your concentration. If you deplete yourself full of your electrolytes, your sodium, your potassium, magnesium, no matter how much water you drink,
Yeah.
you just cannot get yourself back up to where it needs to be.
100%. So then moving into lunch, I would say, oh mate, sorry, my phone's going absolutely mental.
That's
What I would say is, Matt, take over me for a second.
So what I'd say is it's really, really
This is
important
good.
to, so your lunch again is going to have to follow a similar premise in terms of what you're eating needs to be pre-planned. Now,
I'm back.
if he's back in the room now, look,
Sorry.
I can breathe a sigh of relief.
Sorry.
Um,
Someone was blowing up my phone even though I told them I'm busy.
Um,
But yeah, I agree. So I'll jump across you. Similar sort of structure. Make sure you prep for it, but I would always go for lunch. Probably a white meat
yeah,
with
potato pasta. Pasta's a bit. Some people are not a fan of pasta.
sweet potato.
Yeah, I'd say sweet potato, even white potato, mate. Or rice.
Such a bro meal, but just a white meat, sweet potato, and broccoli.
Yeah. It covers a lot of the
It's
bases.
satiating.
Yeah.
It goes down well.
There's some
You can make
vitamins
it
in
taste vitamins. You can make it taste pretty good with just some hot sauce and some garlic. And it's fucking easy to make. You just cook. If you don't have an air fryer, even if you're using an oven, cook the chicken for 40 minutes on a Sunday. Just go doing other stuff around the house. You don't have to sit there watching the oven.
Obviously, don't fall asleep because fire safety is very important.
Yeah, of course. And then broccoli takes matter of minutes.
Yeah.
Same as a sweet potato in the microwave if you want, or boil them. So that's a prep meal. There's no excuse for that. That's so simple, and it takes all the decision fatigue about. Oh my god, what do I get? Let me pop to Tesco. Let me get this. They're like, it's just done, and it's easily tracked, and you know it's
good to go.
40-45 grams of protein, decent carb, decent micronutrients.
I would also say with that is that buy glass Tupperware.
Yeah.
Not plastic, not the BPA free. Because it's one of the things, mate, where like for years, it's BPA free, it's fine. And then actually you kind of look into what that means and it's probably not fine.
No.
So I'd say glass Tupperware, yes, it could break, but just don't be clumsy with it.
Empty it out on a plate.
Or exactly that. Empty it onto a ceramic plate.
Or eat it cold. I did that for 7 years of my life.
Yeah. It's done you no harm, mate. Look at you.
Exactly. Yeah.
You've always had 6 toes.
Yeah.
But the key thing is, again, is prep. And like Jamie said, it can be real straightforward, really bro. But actually, the reason why it's really bro is it's a very effective way of doing it.
Yep.
That's why so many bro bodybuilders do it, because it works. Yep. So we know that's the case. Things like snacking as well. I'd say if you are going to capitulate, you are dotting around town, have something with you, have a snack. Maybe that's a protein bar, but then again, if we look at the ingredient list in a protein bar, probably not good. But have something, apple, a banana.
I'd just say a bit of fruit.
Yeah, I would too. Like a satsuma and an apple.
Something relatively fast acting, sweet, easy to get to.
Even dates. Mate, dates are like the what do they call it? I don't know. It's got a fancy name where they say they're like the chocolate bar of the fruit world, which is not what they say, but it's something like that.
I know what you mean. The only issue is dates and stuff like even raisins are the same as nuts in essence of your mind's like, oh, this is quite healthy.
Yeah, you can smash them in your head.
They're so calorie dense.
You
can fuck yourself up or ruin your progress by doing that. So just a banana and apple.
Yeah, something there that even a pear, just something to take the edge off. If most time, 9 times out of 10, it is almost to feel as if you bet something.
Yeah.
More so than you probably need it, because we know we can go like 30 days without food. So it's not because you're starving, it's just trying to.
That's what makes me laugh. Like we've all done it time to time. It's like, oh, I just needed something.
I was dying. Yeah. I was.
It's funny.
And then likewise, same for your dinner is pretty much going to be the same as what we spoke about for lunch.
Yeah.
I would say that most people do not reinvent the wheel. The foods that I think we always suggest and the meal types suggest, like chicken, sweet potato, broccoli, you give that to your kids.
Yeah.
That's a hearty meal that's fairly straightforward, easy to use, covers all the bases macronutrients wise, and in terms of what's in there, it's pretty limited on any
Yeah.
nasties or any additives
Yeah.
or anything like that. And realistically, we said before, there's that we should probably all be eating like that all
Yeah.
the time. There's no
Fundamentally, it's a strange thing just going back to tracking of these foods as well. Like we get our clients to track because we have to. We've got to. They need to know what's going in, and they need to redesign their relationship with food, and it's an important part of that. But if you eat what we just said,
yeah,
within reason, there's no need to track, because to eat like a ton of volume of good, dense, nutritious foods is really difficult.
really
So
difficult.
if you've got chicken, sweet potato, and broccoli for lunch, a banana, an apple in between, breakfast you got sourdough, avocado, eggs, or you've got your overnight oats, a shake and maybe an extra banana before you train or around your training window, and a whole hearty meal in the evening.
Good to go.
You don't really need to track that. You can shift a decent amount
Yeah.
of weight, because the likelihood of you overeating, as long as you don't then get to the evening and pile your face with chocolate and sweets, it's extremely unlikely.
Yeah,
And
it
I
is.
think the tracking can be, if they're doing the journey themselves, can be a little bit overwhelming in terms of like, what do I do with the data?
Yeah. What does this mean?
Yeah. So like, you don't, that it's not a necessity, but I think if you, obviously we haven't set an age and a weight on this person, so their exact calories necessarily. But I think fundamentally that sticking to reasonable portion sizes will cover most bases, won't they?
And if nothing else, we mentioned before, the hand diet
Yeah.
is that the size of your fist, either size of your fist for the carbs, your meats as it 1.5 or two of your fist, and a fistful of veggies, you're probably good to go. And
Yeah.
that is empirically backed as well.
Yeah.
So there is that is a decent way of gauging it. The key thing is preparation.
Yeah.
Have a plan, know what that looks like, and just enforce the plan.
Exactly.
Like you would with anything else in a business, you're gonna have a business idea, whatever it may be, a venture. You plan what that looks like.
Yeah.
You don't just go, you know what, today we're gonna do a brand new fun boat thing at Gloucester Keys,
Yeah. Yeah.
and not have a boat, not have a plan. You wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
So the exact same thing has to apply to you, to how you're going to change and adapt your
Yeah.
life. Let's sit down, let's gather our thoughts, see what that
Yeah.
looks like.
It's like
Make a
sitting down in a
plan.
business meeting with shareholders and they're going, okay, what are the projections? What are we going to do? What have we got in store? And just like,
Stuff.
yeah,
Lots of
good
stuff.
question.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm too busy to do that really. It's
Mm.
literally exactly the same. So, and I think fundamentally, to keep it really simple, because we're coming up to half an hour and these are meant to be semi bite sized. Like, of course, the generic of like that we want you to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep, do that consistently. It can be difficult around kids, difficult around travel. We don't need perfect. Do everything that you can. I think fundamentally, hydration's another thing to highlight.
Yeah.
3.5 liters of water is a reasonable number to aim for.
Particularly in the summer months where it's so
Yeah.
humid and warm.
Yeah, and I think if you nail that nutritional structure, you're training 4 times a week, 2 resistance, 2 cardio based, a healthy level of steps in my mind being 7.5K and above.
Yeah.
I would say, on days where you can get extra, get to 10.
Yeah.
I think that's where you start, and within that system, I believe you can lose your first 10 kilos.
And to be fair, quite easily.
Yeah.
And what's the key thing there is there's no fat loss pills, there's no magic foods, there's no BS. It is you having a plan for both training wise and both nutritionally wise, and just sticking to it.
Yeah.
And riding that out for as long as you can. And let's be honest, it's not that difficult, because
not.
you're probably going to be cooking food or someone's cooking food for you.
It's different. It's not difficult.
Yeah, your prep food can be on a Sunday, like you said, oven toes on, bang some chicken breasts in,
Yeah.
5 chicken breasts for 5 meals, 5 sweet potatoes, some
Yeah.
broccoli, and you portion it up.
100%.
It's as simple as that
100%. Frank will be in tip-top shape
in no time at all.
in no time at all if he sticks to that. So if any of that applies to you, if when we went through that Frank case study of Frank and you're going, okay, yeah, that kind of resonates, get that, test that plan, get back to us, let us know if it's worked for you. I apologize because I think I did most of the podcast with my microphone out here. So if the audio is a bit funny and we're distracted by calls, but again, we'll continue to do these kind of bit more bite-sized case study examples to give you a real world view of just simple things that you can change within your health system. So again, thank you so much for listening, viewing, hopefully subscribing, and we'll see you in the next one.